sheepskin, sheep gown. I don't know. Is it a gown or
Sheep
a
gown.
Yeah.
What you mean is your first job was stealing money from your parents.
It wasn't a job. No. By the way, I can say my mom is a victim.
Uh-huh. Of thuggery.
Is
It's
that
know your-
surviving or
Know your position.
that is survival?
Surviving is winning.
Okay. But books loves me more. Or
Mimo.
me more. There's a comma. A comma or space. Anything.
Is that a book or a lady?
Oh my God. Are we
Okay,
getting lost?
me
Personal
more.
finance.
We are talking to somebody who knows nothing
Okay.
about finances.
I know
So
nothing
from the-
about finances.
exactly.
Talk to me. I know nothing about finances, bro.
Finances,
Yeah,
yes. Which are the aspect of personal finance?
The
That's what
pressure
now.
is getting worse.
That's now what you
It's
should talk
burning
about
fire.
now.
Yeah.
Biggest
I'm
asset.
being vulnerable, bro. Like the
Okay.
biggest asset I have.
Don't get angry, yeah?
Yeah, I'm not
Yes.
getting angry, but you have
You've been
you
at-
have
in
a loan.
debt. Uh-huh.
You have a loan. Somebody who helped paid school fees for her or him. That guy, he has not even started earning. He has negative net worth. Somebody who has negative 1 million. How will this person achieve his financial
Talk to
goal?
me. Talk to me directly.
Yeah, I won't go through the corners, bro. So, someone who
And
This
how
is-
does a person get to him or herself to negative net worth?
I just gave an example right now.
Right? You have
She's
nothing
zero.
in there.
Negative. She
Zero.
is
Like-
negative. When we talk of personal finance, I can't imagine how I used to steal money from my mom. Because if I'm being vulnerable, by the way, because if my mom knew the amount of money I used to steal from her back then, and she used to say, no, that kid cannot steal my money.
Uh-huh.
So my bro and my sis, bro, they used to suffer. That time I was very young, so I was the notorious guy, but they didn't know. Yeah, they usually say a wolf with a sheep, whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Covered
with
in a sheepskin.
yeah, sheepskin, sheep gown. I don't know, is it a gown or
Sheep
a
gown. Sheep gown.
So
That's
today-
new.
Hey, that's
so,
new.
so basically what you mean is your first job was stealing money from your parents.
It wasn't a job. No. By the way, when you, this
Okay,
is,
sorry.
This is not.
Sorry. I want to
Have
know.
you saved-
Can I
Let me
rephrase?
ask- Let me ask
Can
him
I
a question.
rephrase?
You can.
Your first source of money was stealing from your parents.
I can't say that, but
First source of
I
income.
didn't know what money was. Like the
Wow,
reason.
stop lying, Dennis.
It's okay.
You didn't know what money was, but you were stealing it. You get it?
I get
You
the
don't know
point.
what the money is, but you're stealing it.
I was.
You can't
I said
convince
that I
us.
will be
This guy must have
vulnerable. Yo,
said for the retirement
I'm
by
opening
now.
up, bro. I'm opening up.
But you're saying you didn't know what money is, but you were stealing it.
You
Personal
must have
finance.
said.
Personal finance.
You must
That's
have
it.
said for your
That's where it
retirement by
began.
now.
I can say my mom is a victim.
Uh-huh. Of thuggery. Anyway, moving on swiftly.
Moving
you
on
know that-
swiftly. First
Start-
thing first.
Starting on a high note, eh?
Yeah. So I'm sorry to my mom. Actually, I've opened up.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it's not only my mom I've stolen money from. Plenty of people, but back then when I was still young. But when I grew up, man, I don't want to lose a dime because someone has stolen from me. That's why we need to let people know what personal finance is. Because my mom, you know where she used to keep her money?
No, I don't know.
You don't know. That's right. That's what I want to tell you.
Okay.
So she used to have grocery shop. That's where we used to go and take groceries and stuffs. And most of the time she was going to market to collect some stuffs like nyanya. We call them tomatoes. Yeah, nyanya.
Tomatoes.
Anyway,
Tomatoes.
depends.
Tomatoes.
Oh my god. So the night, let's say she's supposed to go to the market the following day.
Yeah, to correct
So,
stock.
Yeah, she used to put money in different bags. Oh my god. So I used to open
Every bag and take a something, eh?
yeah, like 20.
That was a very
Imagine
wise
10
thing.
of them.
before you know for that I assume your mom was like maybe dividing the money depending on the side of the market you'll go. If it's for the tomatoes,
Yeah.
she will put this amount in that bag. Before she realizes every bag was missing, she has spent the whole day.
Exactly.
You are a wise thief.
No. I was.
Okay.
I was. Not now, bro. Not now.
You are a wise.
Yeah. Welcome to Desert Vibes podcast. Yeah, where we dive deep into topics that inspire, Ours, I think today, I don't know if the one that I've said will inspire somebody, but don't be a thief. Yeah, don't be a thief. I suffered a lot after she knew that I was the one who was taking some fulus from her grocery store. Yeah, so I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry about that.
Have
Yeah.
you saved for your retirement?
We'll come to that later.
He should
We'll
have
come to
already
that.
You
saved.
should have already saved.
No, no,
for
no.
the
We'll come to
retirement.
that
He
later.
started working when
First
you were
thing
young.
first.
Yeah, you started
First thing
working
first.
when you were very young, man.
What is personal finance? Anybody knows what personal finance is? I will define it for you guys so that we can do this thing quick because we don't have time actually.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I can say personal finance is where you take care of your investments and you know where you put. Actually, I'm defining according to the way I understand. I usually, oh my God, Mr. Director is very angry because this microphone is. I need a stand, bro. Can we exchange?
I'm sorry at this time. You need to
It's
spend
okay,
some.
it's
You
okay,
need to
it's
spend
okay.
some amount.
Yeah, I see. I see.
Based on the topic. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so as we talk of personal finance, I don't know how many of you can guide us on how they can retire at the age of. I know we are at our 20s, some of us are 20s, and some of us at our 30s. I don't know how many of us, me included actually, can guide us on how we can retire at 50.
Disclaimer. I'm not a professional finance advisor.
I'm not either. Like
We ain't.
okay, we
We
ain't.
we just giving life experiences that, based on them, you can avoid some mistakes. Or even, we are learning. We are young, and everybody's learning from somebody. So
Sure.
we're sharing maybe something you've learned from somebody, or you've learned it yourself
From
books
somebody.
or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Personally, I would say much of it is coming from books and stuff. So first thing first, to start with, I would define personal finance as is the planning process of finances. It's the financial planning of activities, incomes, household expenditure, savings, and investments. Is the whole process of planning what you're getting and dividing it into those segments: investment, savings, household expenditure, and all that. And without forgetting black tax, of course. Yeah.
Black tax, that is expense. So let me just put it in three words. Let's say it's the expenditure, that is the expenses, the earnings, and the savings, whereby the investment will come in this category of saving. Mr. Paul?
So I would say this,
Yeah.
certainly, it's the personal management. Like it's how you manage your finances.
Okay.
Now let's add the word management.
Managing.
This refers to the management of an individual money. Whatever money you have, how do you manage that? How do you save? How do you invest? Do you have a budget? Okay.
Wow.
And do you have something that, okay, now if, for example, that's what I was asking the question. Have you saved for your retirement? Those are some of the aspects
We are just getting
which we
started.
look at
Yeah, just getting
personal
started.
finances.
You're starting on a
Okay.
high note, but it's okay.
We are just
So
getting started.
that's how I would
The
define.
energy is giving.
Yeah, personal finances are. It is the management. It's how you manage your
Finances.
personal money, or let's put money, because when it comes to finances, okay, that's another word for money. but
Money.
Money. It's how you manage your money. Yeah.
Or your earnings.
In the
Yeah.
aspect of in the aspect of, do you have a budget? In the aspect of, have you saved for your retirement? What are your goals, your personal goals or financial goals? Yeah, that's
Before you go further, at what age should we start saving for retirement?
Now,
We are late already.
yeah.
immediately, okay, so most of us get lost when you get your first job. And you feel like, okay, let me buy clothes, let me buy shoes, let me spend on myself, you see. By the time you come to realize that you would have saved and where you should be at now,
To be honest,
the moment it's hitting your head, it's too late.
Because
But
the reason as to why I asked at what age we should start planning for retirement. We should be having our retirement financial plans.
can we
I have
we
a
talk
question.
of retirement later? Please, allow me. Allow
Okay.
me.
Okay.
So let's deal with the first thing first. Let's say I'm somebody who doesn't know anything to do with personal financing, because I said something to do with net worth, right? So basically, if somebody wanna start this personal financing, based on what I have learned and what I have read, actually, it's there's something we call getting started, because for you to get started, you need to know where you are so that you can go to
can
the
start,
destination, right?
Uh-huh.
So how can someone get started? Like,
Getting
okay,
started,
let me not say how can someone get started.
how should
Do you
we?
do you know how to care of do you care of how your personal finances is? Do you
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
you do?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
And
based
by,
on your experience.
not actually experience,
Mhm.
it's
But
based,
what you're doing.
based on what actually not what I know and what I'm doing, or maybe trying to execute.
You can know something, but you're
Not doing it. I
Yeah.
understand.
So,
So from my basic financial plans knowledge, a start point is getting to know what are your earnings, what do you have,
mhm,
because you cannot plan for what you don't have,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
mhm,
That's why most of people
mhm.
oversee or overplan because they don't know what most of like businesses you
You,
can overplan.
you said something to do with earning, right? Do you know there's someone earning 500k Kenyan shillings,
It's
but at the end of the month he has
debts,
nothing.
or
Yeah,
even
he has
is
debts
in debt.
actually. Yeah, he's
So
in debt.
that's why I'm saying.
Mhm.
That's why I'm saying the first step
Mhm,
is knowing what do I have, what's on the table.
mhm.
Like it's having your budget. Do you
It's
have a
ha-
budget? That's the
you already
question.
have-
So-
Do I
you
have a
already-
budget?
you
That's
Okay.
the first thing you're supposed to ask
Mhm.
yourself. Do I have a budget for this money?
Not you cannot even start there. You cannot
Basically,
start
you
by
cannot
budgeting.
start with the budget.
It's knowing what do I have so that I can. For the first thing, if I get to know, I already have this amount of money. The next thing is budgeting for what you have. You cannot have a budget for what you don't have.
Exactly.
You know,
One
so
thing.
the start point, the shell of it all, is getting to know how much do I have. You feel me? It's getting to know how much will I earn, how much do I have. After you get to know your financial earnings, or the money you will have at a certain period of time, whether it's your end of month salary, whether it's your end of month, end of trading period profits. The next thing you need to know is, what do I need to spend? Where will I take my money? You understand? How much household expenditure do I have? Because those are the priorities. You cannot start you cannot get money today, and the first thing you're planning is saving and investing.
Your microphone is getting lost.
I'm
Yeah.
saying,
You can adjust.
yeah. I'm saying, if you are getting this certain amount of money, you cannot start planning by saving or even investing. The first thing you should know your household expenditure, your daily expenditure.
And that's again what I'm calling budgeting.
Budgeting.
Exactly.
Exactly. But first thing first, get to know what you have.
Mhm.
Get to know, after you know what you have, I have 100,000 Kenyan shilling, or maybe 1,000 Qatar riyal is what I have on the table. Okay? The second thing is to know how much am I supposed to spend
Your
spend
microphone.
on myself. Sorry. How much am I going to spend on myself?
Yeah.
Whether it's a household expenditure, whether it's because you cannot maybe you have a debt, you can't go paying debts, you have not eaten. You need that energy to look for money tomorrow. Okay? So the shell of it all
Is
is
that surviving or
know your position.
that is surviving?
Surviving is winning.
Okay. So there's a book I read. Actually, it's the book that I'm reading right now. I can say I love books, but books loves me more.
Mimo.
Me more. There's a comma. A comma or space. Anything.
Is that a book or a lady?
Oh my God. Are we
Okay,
getting lost?
me
Personal
more.
finance.
All right, I get it.
Oh, it's
Let's go on. Let's go on.
okay. It's okay.
Let's go on.
So, and this book is 250 questions for your 20s and 30. And 250 personal
Financial questions.
finance questions for your 20s and 30s. Okay. And the first, is it topic or subtopic? It's getting started. So, the first subtopic under the getting started topic is setting goals. So, you need to know where you are so that you can know where you are going.
The
Then,
destination.
Then the next thing they talk about, it's knowing your net worth. Knowing your net worth. Okay? Then I'm trying to remember. Yeah. After knowing your net worth,
What's
there
your
is
net
what
worth?
Mr. Paul said.
What's your
Comes-
net worth?
Budgeting. We'll come to that. We'll
Okay.
come to that.
Moving on.
Then moving
Uh.
on moving on swiftly. After budgeting,
Uh-huh.
there is what we call banking.
Mhm.
Conveniently.
Okay.
So
okay.
can we deal with this for?
You know, I understand we wanna dive deep into this.
No, we are not diving into
I understand. I
Uh-huh.
understand your point.
Uh-huh.
But as a start, I would like to deal with that person who don't have that big knowledge. You understand? I know you are getting my point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We are talking to somebody who is literate financially. We are talking to somebody who knows nothing
Okay.
about finances.
I know
So
nothing
from the-
about finances.
exactly.
Talk to me. I know nothing about finances, bro.
Yes.
Talk
So that's
to
why
me.
I'm saying
Uh-huh.
before we go that deep,
Mhm.
not everybody has read the 250 financial whatever personal
I
question.
have
you've
not
asked
read
yourself.
it, by
Exactly.
the way.
Yeah, you are on
Talk
the
to
process
me.
of reading it.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is
Mhm.
we should just try to break down the basics, the most basic personal finance planning that a person who have not gone to a business class, a person who have not attended a financial literate class,
Yeah.
try to talk to that person for them to get to know where are we starting, where are we going.
Mhm.
That person who have no knowledge at all.
Mhm.
You cannot start by instilling budget to somebody who doesn't know even how to start by planning 1,000 Kenyan shilling. You understand? Because you're talking literally, you don't know who will see this video. That's why I'm saying let's try to start with the basic way
Your microphone is
of how you deal with with finances. Sorry. So with that, I was just trying to tell you, don't go deeper. Trying to tell us,
I'm not
yeah, you
going
know,
deeper.
budgeting, na. I understand all that,
I
and
cannot tell you to budget something that you don't have actually.
Exactly.
So that's why we cannot budget something that we don't have, Mr. Paul.
yeah, sure.
It's not that I'm neglecting your point, but imagine I'm budgeting, but I don't know my net worth. Personally, if we can say, I can ask you what is net worth actually? Basically, what is net worth? Someone who don't know outside there, what is net worth? Before we define it, or before I say how to calculate the net worth.
Net
and
worth.
stuff. Uh-huh.
Net worth is what you own
Mhm.
personally in
Mhm.
terms of assets,
Mhm.
solid money,
Mhm.
assets, solid money,
Mhm.
and even loans. Those are your assets. It's
Mhm.
what you own as a person.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that includes solid money.
Mhm.
I have 10,000 Kenyan shilling. I have 1,000 Qatarial. That's your network. Net worth.
Yeah, my net
And
worth. Money is net worth.
oh,
Yeah.
my net worth is my network. So, your net worth is what you have in terms of assets, solid money, and even sometimes debts can be your net worth. Yeah.
So the topic today was to be or is personal financials. Let us not go out of the topic. Let's
We are
talk
not going-
about personal
we are-
personal
we are not going
finances.
outside the personal finance. So personal finance is the kingpin, and we have the branches. So net worth comes under the personal finance.
Why
Ah.
don't we talk of the aspects of finances? That's
Okay.
what we should start with. Aspects of finances.
Aspects of finance.
We've already defined what
Personal
personal
finances.
finances
Yeah, yeah.
is. Which are the aspect of personal finance?
The
That's what
pressure
now.
is getting worse.
That's now what we
It's
should talk
burning
about
fire.
now.
yeah.
Which including the budgeting, the saving,
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
before we come to
the debt
budgeting,
management,
before we come to budgeting, why can't
Okay.
we say
the
we need to know
retirement
our-
plannings, and
it's
the
okay.
insurance
The retirement
as well.
planning.
Mhm.
It's okay. I have not neglected anything. But somebody, before you come to budget, you need to know what you have so that you can budget. First of all, before you come to budgeting, you need to set goals. Where do I want to be by the end of this year? We got like how many months remaining right now? 6 months.
Maybe let's say 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. Basically, it's 6 months.
December, I
Actually-
don't count December.
Yeah.
I'll be on vacation in Maldives.
It's okay. But don't spend all your savings there.
All right, it's
All
good to
right.
have good to have personal goals,
Personal goals.
but at least it's good at least to first accumulate a certain amount of wealth before you start budgeting or before you start setting goals.
How will you accumulate
Because-
the money
because you already know what you are getting from your salary. If you're on a 9 to 5 job,
Okay.
you already know that I'm expecting 30K or
Okay.
I'm expecting 100K.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
You already know in your mind this is
Mhm.
the cash I'm going to get by the end of the month.
Mhm.
You can set goals, but by the end of this year, I want to achieve this.
Mhm.
But you have a monthly goal that you're supposed to set,
Now,
okay? Which is now
there's
that
something called
personal
long-term goals
management.
and
because
short-term goals.
exactly.
So when I said setting goals, I didn't specify.
Long term or short
Did
term?
I? I don't think so. I didn't specify.
We shall come
Everything
to
is-
that. We
we
shall
shall-
come to that.
Okay.
We shall come
I
to
think-
that.
What we should do,
Mhm.
educate us and the audience what you know. Whether
Yeah,
it's
I
on
think so.
planning, budgeting, goal setting goals and stuff. You tell us what you know. Well, for as long as we are sticking to the point, personal finance. Tell us what
It's
you
a
know.
broad topic. Yeah, it's okay.
It's a
Mr.
broad
Paul.
topic, but
Yeah.
I think let us not go in deeper beyond personal financial management. That is the topic for today.
Yes, tell
Okay.
us what you know about it.
That is the
Everybody
topic
here-
for
Yeah,
today.
okay. I will just let me cut you shortly.
In short,
Everybody
it's
here
just
has his
is
own
how to
experience.
manage. Is how
Yeah.
to manage. How to manage that money that you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, specifically to manage that money that you have. That
It's
is what
not only-
finance.
No. It's not
No.
managing only.
The-
Because personal finance is
Listen.
where.
Listen,
Uh-huh.
aspects. Which are the aspects? The aspects is that you're talking
That
about.
will help you, exactly.
Is that saving? It is that retirement goal. It is that the debt management that you're talking about. All right. It is that goal setting that you're talking about. Those are the
Because-
aspects.
because-
okay, those are
because-
the aspects.
Because I believe from what you're saying,
I thought today's episode was to be 30 minutes, but I think we'll go 3 hours. Okay. Yeah, man. The pressure is getting worse, man.
it's all right. From what you're saying
Mhm.
is you need to have the start point and the goal point.
Mhm.
You understand?
Mhm.
And with that, what Paul is putting across is, yes, you have that start point and the goal point, but it's not the goal point that is important.
Yeah,
is
focus
there.
on the
It is
process.
how you manage.
Process. And
The
that's
Focus on
process
the
of
process.
bringing
management.
How do
across.
you focus on the
Managing.
process that you
Exactly.
don't know?
Exactly.
I
That's
don't
why
know
he's
how to
saying,
budget.
for you to get to this goal,
Yeah.
you need to know I started already. And between me and my goal, I need all this budgeting, retirement plan, expenditure plan, investment and all that. It's the goal is not important.
Okay.
Because all of us have goals. And we started younger. I had a goal of becoming a pilot. So it's not what is important, it's not the goal. It's
Are you a
not the
pilot
goals
right now?
in Aviator.
He's a pilot in
Aviator.
Hot and Juicy podcast.
Hot and juicy. Yeah, you're a pilot. You're a pilot.
Yeah, I'm piloting. So
Which is okay.
anyway,
Now,
so what we're trying to
Okay.
to
Sorry.
put across to the audience
Mhm.
is, let's get to know what is in between my starting point and my goal, and it's all he's trying to explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my list, I would say that that financial goals comes in my number 7 list. That's where it comes. Before I get to financial goals, I'll have to go through investment, I'll have to go through savings, I'll have to go through debt management, I'll have to go through retirement planning, insurance, I'll have to go through investing. Did I say investing?
Yeah.
Tax planning, okay? And then number 7 would be financial goals.
It is the last point, actually.
That is
Financial
everything
goals.
Here is the financial goal.
You know, financial goals is setting a clear, realistic financial goals that helps you guide your money
This is
management.
financial
Management,
goals.
okay?
Financial goals. Okay, I think there's somewhere we are not getting each other.
Then without
You want okay?
without all
We all-
this
we all have-
budgeting,
sometimes we all have
you're not
misconception.
getting to your goal.
Mhm.
You will not get to your financial
Now
goal.
Exactly.
this is
So it's
this is the process.
fin-
The
your
first thing
financial
is
goal-
budgeting.
Your financial goal is as a result of all these that is in
Budgeting.
between.
You know,
Exactly.
That's why
I'm-
it's coming at the end. Because without all this that's in between there, you'll not get to that goal, that whatever you're setting.
Even
So
if
you
you
have
set
to-
a goal,
Yeah. You can
will
set
have
it and
come-
not achieve it
you will
because
still come back.
Yeah.
You know,
and say,
you know the
"This is
reason
my
I'm
budget."
debating with you
Mhm.
that much.
Mhm.
It's because what I'm doing, you are saying against it.
No,
Which
no,
I
no.
feel like it's working for me, and I feel it will work for somebody else. And you're telling me to go with your, like, I feel like you're convincing me to go with your way, which I truly don't know if you have tried. I truly don't know if you have tried. But for me, there is the one that I am trying. It's like I will open up too much today. But it's okay. I started something without the vision of doing something. And after doing it, like a month, I said, oh my God, I realized I did something that was not good. So I had to set short-term goals, whereby if I accomplish every goal, because I made a goal of long-term goal like 10 years. I won't be more specific. Let me use 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years.
Uh-huh.
But for me to achieve these 10 years, I cannot just achieve it with a day.
Yeah, sure.
All the 10 years should end, right?
Yeah.
So there is these short-term goals.
Maybe yearly or whatever. Yeah.
Yearly,
Or
yearly
quarter,
is
year,
also a
whatever,
long term.
yeah.
It's also a long term to some people.
Depending on your end goal, I think an
for
year
me,
is
I
short.
earn monthly. So it's
Okay,
monthly.
okay.
Monthly basis, okay? And it's working for me. Whereby it's a risk I took. And I started by not knowing what I was doing, and I realized that, man, if I don't put goals in place to ensure that by the end of 10 years I will achieve this thing that I've done,
Uh-huh.
yeah, the one that I messed up,
Uh-huh.
I will mess up my life, by the way. I will lose all the whatever that I invested in this stuff.
Can I get you back into track?
Sure.
I am
if you want to.
requesting.
Mhm.
The only reason we are having this discussion
Mhm.
is you already know everybody has a goal. You have yours.
Yes.
You have yours. I have mine.
Mhm.
Everybody does.
Mhm.
Why we are having this discussion is to help you or guide you on your way to your goal. You might have that goal, but in between here is where we cook, right?
Mhm.
So we are trying. That's why we are trying to. You already have your personal financial goal.
Mhm.
So the only thing we are trying to discuss is in between here. What are mistakes that you need to avoid? What do you need to do exactly? What have I done on my end? What have you done on your end? So that everybody can get to grab something. The only reason why experts give it advice, they don't guide you to achieve. They guide you to avoid mistakes. Do you understand that?
Exactly.
The only reason why financial advisors, they don't come here to tell you how you will achieve your goals. They come, most of the things is to tell you what to avoid during your journey to achieve your goal. So let's not try to focus more on the goal, because everybody has
on any goal.
everybody has a different goal.
Sure.
We all have a different financial
Someone want to
capabilities.
travel the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Another
we
one
all,
want
we
to
all
buy a
have
car.
we all
Another one
have
want something
different financial capabilities. So let's try to help somebody who is maybe on our on our category or even above us or below us, that they can get to know what ways have you maybe tried in your life to get to achieve your financial goal, without most focusing on what goal every individual has, because nobody's goal will match anybody's goal. You get my point?
Okay.
So let's try to focus if it's that topic of budgeting.
Okay.
How are you maneuvering the budgeting agenda?
Okay, let me say this. It's like I'm jumping into conclusions, and also it's like I'm becoming a debate, and I'm supposed to moderate. I'm supposed to moderate. That's right. Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, you
Because
understand where
he's speaking out of his experience.
Yeah.
Whatever
I will
he
stop.
did, where he went wrong, and after rectifying what he saw was right for
So
any
let's
person to
go
do.
there. Let's
see?
go there.
So let me.
So
let us
that's
do
why
this.
he's talking about setting goals. First
Okay.
thing, he said you should set goals.
First
Then
thing
you
first.
start budgeting for what you have.
You come back
Not
now.
then
So-
you start budgeting. Not
He's,
then you start budgeting. Okay, let me do this. Let me say my part. I allow Paul to say his part, and then Kaboy, you will say your part. I
Okay.
think it will work best for us.
Okay.
Okay, and here we go. So, first thing first, according to my experience and something that I know will work, provided you follow, it's not all. You need also to research on your side, because I cannot tell you everything. Personal finance is a big topic, right? So for me, I would actually go with this. First, you set goals, because you cannot know where you're going without knowing where you are. That is one thing. Another thing, you need to, what else did I say after setting goals? Knowing your net worth. You need to know your net worth. If you don't know how to calculate your net worth, you are earning, let's say you are earning like 5,000 Qatari Riyal, someone is earning 6,000, someone is earning 2,000, someone is, everybody is earning differently. But you'll find somebody who is earning 2,000 Qatari Riyal is saving more than the person who is earning 5,000 Riyal. So you need to know your net worth. And your net worth is not the money that you are earning. No. Your net worth is the assets you have minus the liability. That's how you will get to know your net worth. For me, if I can take the assets I have,
besides your mobile,
it's myself.
Yeah, the biggest
I'm
asset.
being vulnerable, bro. Like the biggest asset I have.
Don't get angry.
Yeah, I'm not getting angry, but I'm being angry.
Talk to this person who has
I'm just saying,
just started earning today.
No.
Who has zero
We're just talking about our experience.
If he has,
I will just give you a chance to talk, bro.
No,
I'm opening up, bro. Just listen, man. Okay, this is it. So, after budgeting, not after budgeting, after knowing your net worth, then you can come to budgeting, because you'll find somebody with negative net worth.
Even
you have a loan.
Uh-huh.
You have a loan. Somebody who helped paid school fees for her or him. That guy, he has not even started earning. He has negative net worth. Somebody who has negative 1 million. How will this person achieve his financial goal?
Talk to me directly.
Yeah, I won't go through the corners, bro. So, someone who has negative net worth. That's why I have negative net worth and you're telling me to budget.
So
is that logic?
No.
So
Let's engage.
How did it
come
that you have negative?
Let's engage.
You have negative
you go to budgeting.
net worth. How
No.
did it come that you have negative? Okay, for example,
What are we supposed
how
to
do
do?
you come?
What are we supposed to do?
How do you come
What are we
to a point
supposed
of
to
having
do?
negative net worth?
Exactly.
That's
and what
the
are we
point.
supposed to do to avoid negative net worths? Exactly. That's what.
Because I need to
You
know
should not
this person.
tell us how you failed. I understand where you're coming from, the point you're putting across.
No.
But
There's
for
no
that
point.
person-
I
for that
just
person-
gave an example,
that
bro.
person-
The problem
Some
is
people-
these rich people. They tell us, the rich people
Thank
will
you.
tell you.
God,
The
let's
rich
say
people will tell you.
Let's say it.
Like this. This is how I made. They won't tell you exactly what they did.
Exactly.
But
It's a
they will
challenge,
tell you.
man.
They will tell you, I used to sleep hungry. I used to sacrifice a lot. I used to walk.
Somebody's telling you I
And
was
now
poor.
I'm here.
I
And
was
now
poor.
I'm here.
I was poor to a point I was sleeping in my Lamborghini.
I was eating Colgate. Mwingine
Yeah,
anakwambia-
it happens.
Another
I
will
mean-
tell you that he was even lacking food and eating toothpaste.
So Dennis,
But he won't tell you exactly what he did or he or she did
For the-
to acquire the financial stability.
for this,
That one, I will just come to your point. It's all about budgeting. What is budgeting, by the way?
Now,
He's
let's-
having a-
This is now the
let's-
sacrifice, bro. This is the sacrifice. According to the way I understand, I won't say it's exactly that. Oh my God. Will you moderate? I just feel like debating today.
So what I'm saying,
let's go ahead.
Dennis,
Let's go
I
on.
understand the pain you have and the anger you have that you didn't know things that you know right now when you're beginning all your financial earnings.
Do you?
So
the story I
get
gave
your
at
point.
first.
So let me tell you
stole money
one
from
thing.
my mom.
What we need to do
Feel sorry
for
for her.
this episode to be helpful
Mm.
to you, to me, and to Paul, and to the audience. You already mentioned something like getting into negative financial net worth.
Yeah.
So for us, for that person who have not gotten there, okay, what are we supposed to be doing? What are we supposed to do for us not to get to that negative financial, net worth or whatever negative net worth? That will be helpful rather than putting in the anger the way somebody would and the way it pisses somebody off to be on the negative side. What we need to make sure it's helpful is to ensure that we tell this person at this time where you're supposed to do this to avoid this. That will be more helpful
It's okay.
instead of pouring
It's okay.
pouring
okay.
ourselves out.
It's okay.
It's
You know-
guiding. We want to guide.
We want to guide.
Exactly.
But somebody who has a negative net worth of negative a million, I will just give an example. Kenya, I'll use an example of my country, a country I come from, a country you come from, a country you come from, right? So you can relate. Somebody who helped paid school fees for him or her. So this guy, he or she has not started earning, right? But she's 25 years of age. She has come out of school. She's negative She has negative net worth. Somebody who doesn't have a land, so she doesn't have an asset, right?
Sure.
So the asset that she has is 0. And the liabilities that she has,
It's
it's
negative 1 million.
yeah, negative 1 million, or let's say negative 200K. So for this person,
To avoid that.
not to avoid, she already has it, bro.
Well,
So you're talking
okay,
to
now
this
tell us
person who
how can
already
they
have a
maneuver
debt.
out of that?
But
Okay.
how can they maneuver to that?
Out of
Exactly, huh?
that.
Because if I was to go with Paul's point, budgeting, exactly, it comes after knowing your net worth. I totally agree. I totally agree. After knowing your net worth, if I'm positive net worth, then I will try to do as much as possible to ensure that I'm accumulating more and more and more so that I can retire early. Not only retiring, but also early. Right? Somebody who has negative net worth, she need or he need to do something. I cannot tell you exactly what you should do
But
to get the money to pay the help.
Can you
but again,
define?
you
Can
cannot
you
put,
define?
you cannot you
I
cannot
need you to define negative net worth. Exactly what it is, then, so that we can start there. How you can maneuver from negative net worth. I need you to define what you mean by negative net worth. What does it mean exactly? And
This
how
is-
does a person get to him or herself to negative net worth?
I just gave an example right now.
What,
Did I?
What was your
no,
example?
Dennis,
exactly?
no, let me tell
Okay,
you.
let me
Are
give
you
another,
talking about
let me
those
give another
students who-
scenario.
No,
Using
no.
today,
Are-
I'm
are
gonna
you-
be
are you-
very
you know,
vulnerable.
but let me tell you, let me
Mhm.
tell you, you already defined net worth as what you hold,
Yeah,
what you
liabilities
own,
minus asset minus liabilities.
asset minus liability.
Liabilities.
That's your
You'll find
net
Yeah,
worth.
yeah.
So you cannot tell me, me,
Not your net worth, your net worth. Don't split
So,
the two.
this person who is coming fresh from school,
Mhm.
what does he or she have?
He's on zero net worth.
She
Zero
has the
net worth,
knowledge
yeah.
of
Zero
the
net
stuff.
Zero
worth,
net
okay?
worth, yeah.
Does he or she have negative net worth?
No, he doesn't.
No,
He doesn't
she
have
has.
negative.
Everybody
How?
has a net worth, bro.
Like it's
When
not
it
a
comes to
negative
personal
net worth.
finance.
It's not a network negative net worth.
Mhm.
It's just he or she is zero net worth, right? You have
She's
nothing
zero.
in your-
negative. She
Zero.
is
Like,
negative.
okay, when you say negative, you mean that zero negative. Like you mean zero. That person is totally doesn't have
Okay,
any
Paul,
asset, doesn't have
I agree.
anything.
I
Like
agree.
you don't have a job, you don't have any asset,
Mhm.
whatever. Be it
You
a
don't have
bicycle, be
okay.
it
You don't have an
be it a
asset.
taka, be it a
What is
job.
net? Okay, I
Okay.
started by defining what net worth is,
I
right?
get the point.
What is net worth?
I get your point.
Okay,
We won't
it's-
repeat that.
Assets minus liabilities. For this person who is getting from school, I just gave an example. This person who is getting out of school, she has a debt. What is a debt? It's a liability. So she already has a liability. The asset she has, she doesn't have a house. She has no anything. So it's zero minus the negative liability minus the liability that she has, that is 200K from help. So she will be negative 200K.
Now that is that. Now exactly.
you want to say that is-
now
that
you've
is-
made it. You've
no.
made it clear.
Yeah.
You've made
Now
it
you want to
very
say
clear.
you want to tell me that is
You've
zero net
made
worth?
it very clear.
That
You're
is
talking
neutral.
about
But
those
this
students.
is negative.
You're talking
What
about
they are
those
saying
students.
is-
You know, there are people who learn.
What they are saying is,
Mhm,
for a person to be on a negative net worth,
mhm.
it's when what you owe people is greater than what you own.
This lady
Okay,
owns
then.
nothing.
Okay.
She owes help 200K.
But if you own, okay, I get your point.
Yeah, it's negative
Now,
net worth, bro.
Dennis was talking about those students
So-
who
so-
take
so-
help.
So
Okay.
let me,
No, I'm not. I just give an example.
Dennis,
This guy
Dennis,
is taking
Dennis,
this
Dennis,
literal-
Dennis.
No,
Dennis.
I'm being
Let's
specific
talk,
because
let's talk.
No, don't be. I just gave an
I'm being
example.
specific.
Okay, let me be specific with my dad. Finish what you're saying. I'll come to that. I'm gonna be very
What-
vulnerable today.
What is
With
0
myself.
minus 1?
Sorry?
0 minus 1.
0 minus 1,
Mm.
it's negative 1.
Are you sure? Mathematically.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Mathematically.
You have zero.
I don't know.
Listen,
Is that okay?
You have zero. you have 0.
0 minus 1,
And from
it's
this
negative
0,
1.
you subtract 1.
You
So
have
are
negative
you having
1.
negative 1?
Indices. Are they called indices or index?
Is it 0
Indices.
minus 1? Is it
The
is
one
it
you
it
draw
0?
like this, negative.
Or is it
You
Yeah.
cannot subtract anything from
minus 0? Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot subtract anything from 0.
Because you already have 0.
You already have 0. What
Let's
is
say, for example, I have 0
financially?
oranges.
Okay.
Financially,
I have
you
0
can.
oranges.
Financially,
No.
financially.
I
Let's
have
see.
0 oranges, right?
Ah.
And then I deduct 1 orange from myself.
From which?
Where are you deducting?
From which orange?
Which orange do you have?
No,
you have
no,
0
no,
orange
guys.
already.
No, guys.
So
Wait.
basically, this person is just starting at debt. He actually has. You cannot even say he has net worth. This
He
person
doesn't.
is
That is
starting at
negative.
0.
It's
He's starting
negative.
He's starting at debt.
No.
Okay.
Okay, Kabua.
Now let's come to
take
his
two
aspects.
Let's
come to
take
his
two
aspects
examples.
now.
Let's take 2 examples. You have my loan, that is 200K, right? And you don't have my loan, and you don't have an asset, right? So between you and him, who is at 0 net worth?
Him.
And you, where do you lie?
I don't lie anywhere because
You lie at negative net worth, bro. Just agree.
Okay,
They
it's
are
okay.
facts.
Financially, that is okay. Financially, that's okay, and that's okay. Everything you are saying, I agree with. What you are trying to do in this episode, called personal financial,
Personal finance.
personal finances.
Okay.
What we are trying to do is how are we maneuvering from negative net worth? Can we agree on that? Is that what you are trying to do?
Exactly.
So with that,
Mathematically, it's correct.
Yeah, it's okay.
I would like to advise.
First
Can
to
you
get-
zoom?
For us to get to that point where you already have that shit, already have that negative net worth. So for us to be helpful and for us to be doing something constructive as at now, as a youth, as a young man, how can you pull yourself out of negative net worth? That will be more helpful, minus us arguing whether we have or we don't have.
Exactly.
Okay, you already have a debt
Yeah.
at a young age.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
you already have a debt at a young age. And as for me, I will start with what Paul has said. I already have a debt. I know I have a debt of Dennis of 200,000. The only way out of that is budgeting.
For your
Okay?
income. For whatever
And that's what you
income now
started
you have.
by saying, no, the position you're standing at. You've started there, right?
Yeah. Then you come
Don't
to
argue,
budgeting.
listen.
I'm not arguing. You're just coming to my point, bruh.
So you already have
Okay.
known, you have already known. At this point, you don't even, the only goal you have is to accumulate wealth that can cover your debt for you to get now to at 0 and start moving forward. Your goal at that time, your goal is to clear your debts. Right? So the only thing I can tell you, the only way out is budgeting.
Okay.
I already have 200,000 debt. I'm earning maybe, let's say, 50,000 Kenyan shilling. The only way out of this debt is having a budget that will know how much money goes to my savings, how much money goes to my household expenditure, how much money goes to investment, and how much money goes to pay my loans. So without
Exactly.
budgeting, you are going nowhere.
That is now how to track.
That's now
how
we are
to
coming
track.
to a helpful way.
Yes.
We are coming to a helpful way of helping a youth to pull out of those pits.
I have
of
not
debts.
said you exclude budgeting.
Okay.
I did not say you exclude budgeting.
Dennis, at this
I
point
said-
you are
okay,
becoming
my God.
argumentative, which
No.
I don't understand why.
You know,
Okay, for me,
We are not-
the
we are not
reason-
writing
the
off
reason-
your statements.
No, the reason I'm saying that
The reason,
it's
Dennis
because
thinks,
you cannot.
Dennis,
you
Dennis
said
thinks-
something to do. I'm
Dennis
not thinking
thinks-
anything negative.
Dennis thinks we are arguing on his point.
No,
What we are
I-
trying to say, whatever you are saying is right. You are not wrong. What you are trying to say is,
Yes.
after you have known,
But it's
I already
bringing
have.
confusion. It's bringing confusion. Because
No.
Kabua, you said something
Why are
to
we
do
having
with
this?
the
Why
goal.
why
it's
are we
not
discussing this?
okay.
the reason
Personal
why,
finance.
the reason why,
why are we discussing
the
this?
reason why Dennis thinks that it's bringing confusion
No,
is
let me
because
finish, Paul.
Wait, let me finish.
Because
also.
he said,
"Come on,
fast, think fast.
Let me finish
What
this.
is your goal? Your
Today
goal
my
is not
debt.
paying debt. Your goal is not paying debt. Your goal is
financial
for you to
stability,
travel the world.
right?
You said
Financial
everybody
stability.
financial
For you
stability.
to retire early.
For you to retire
you to
early.
acquire
That
assets.
is your goal.
Can I retire early with debts?
No. That is your goal. And by knowing I want to achieve, because if you pay your
Okay,
debt,
okay,
you'll
okay.
stop there. You have achieved your goal.
We've,
You have achieved
we've
your
already
goal.
made everything clear that
Uh-huh.
everybody has a goal.
Uh-huh.
If, for example, we have the same debt. You owe Paul 200,000. I owe Paul 200,000. The only way out is knowing your goal. Maybe your goal is not to pay Paul first.
No.
But my goal might be for me to achieve my financial stability and my financial freedom. The only thing I need to do is first clear with Paul, so that from that point I can now move forward. Or either with whatever I am earning or whatever profit I'm gaining from my business or whatever I do, is knowing how much money will go to Paul's debt, how much money will go into my household expenditure, how much. Everything you are saying is right. But for us to be having a helpful discussion is to know how will you pull out of that
Yes.
debt that you're having as a youth.
You must
Most
track-
of us, when we were coming here in Qatar, the first thing we did is take loans from our parents, from our relatives, from wherever, from banks, sold maybe something from our parents to go and pay the agent to bring us here. Once you're here, you've started earning. What is the best thing to do? Is having a budget of knowing how much will I use. I'm already earning maybe 30,000 Kenyan shilling. From this, I already know my debts. I already know the position I'm standing at. I already know I have this amount. I already know I'm earning this point. What is next? Having a budget. Have a budget. That's how you pull out of debts. Have
Exactly.
a budget of knowing after earning 30,000, this amount will go to this location. Allocate your money. That's the only way out of poverty and
Yes.
out of debts. You understand? The next thing I would advise anybody out there, including you, the moment you have already known your financial freedom, your financial position, for you to achieve your goal is to avoid unnecessary things. Okay? Things that you don't need. In this case, I would ask you, both of you, what is the most stupid financial decision have you ever made? You looked at it and said, God damn, what was that?
There's one day I bought, I think Dennis was there.
Your microphone.
There's one day I bought, what was this? It was a Dell, I think Dell Chromebook. It was the worst decision that I made. I still regret even today.
Was it a bad quality or you just never needed it?
It was of low specs. Yeah, lower specs.
So it never served you?
It never served me because I needed
That was the
something more
worst,
profit.
decision
That was
you
the
made.
worst decision that I
Dennis?
made.
But that one you can say that is the worst. Anyway, it's the worst.
Yeah,
according to you.
it's
You know how
according to
many
me, you know?
want your worst
It's
to
according to
you want
me. Do you
discuss
know why?
your worst financial-
You know why? Because
you
it's
know.
my worst because why? I always have a budget for my income. I always track my income. Okay? I always avoid to spend unnecessary budgets.
Why are you saying it is not a bad
Okay?
decision on your end?
I always
sorry.
track my...
Why are you saying
my-
it's not
my
a bad
money.
decision?
No, it's bad on his side.
It's on
To
his
me-
side because
To me, it's not bad.
that's why it's not you, it's him.
Me, I said me.
That's why
you
it's
asked
not
me a
you.
question before I answer. You're
I
just.
asked him,
It's okay.
What's your worst financial
I love the
decision
game
you ever
here.
made?
You
No,
know,
I'm asking
I
you.
love
the
the
rich
game
people,
here.
the rich people, they always take their own opinions. They don't take opinions from other people.
You know, last time we
Because
talked of
they
gaslighting and
only
manipulation.
think that
You're trying
their
to say,
opinions and their ideas are the only correct ideas
What-
that
what
should
I'm
be
trying
used
to
by
say-
anybody else.
What I'm trying to say is his worst financial
Let's not
decision
discuss
can
that.
never be your worst financial
okay,
decision.
let's not discuss
Because
that.
for you maybe, and for me maybe,
Mhm.
when he bought this MacBook or laptop at that amount, whatever amount he bought at, and then realized whatever I spent and whatever specs I'm getting on this laptop is not worth.
It's way
So
too
to
low.
me, on my end, not him, to me, that could have been a lesson to know that, or so this, to do research, to do more research in future so that I cannot make such a decision.
Let's not
Understand.
discuss this because
So what was your most worst
it
financial
was
decision?
not a laptop, Chromebook. So
Exactly what I was
Yeah,
said. I
Chromebook.
said a
It's
Chromebook.
all right. So
yeah, but
what's
he's
your worst?
giving him the erase. And it's a Chromebook, okay? It was a Chromebook. So for me,
It was not
I
a
don't
MacBook.
think I've ever made a worst financial decision.
No, stop lying, bro.
No, no,
give
I-
it, give it up. Come on.
It's okay. You said you
You
was
are
right.
a human. Avoid
You said you was
perfection.
right.
Be honest.
Avoid perfection. Be honest, man.
We all
No
at some
one
point.
is 100%.
You know,
all
I've
at
You're a
some
human
I've
being.
done so many mistakes.
Then why are you
They are
saying
like
that
trauma,
you've never?
you know?
Yeah,
They are
okay.
like trauma.
We are not,
First thing first,
We didn't.
I invested in stock without any knowledge.
Uh-huh.
I lost money. Another thing,
You said you've not made any stupid.
No,
Exactly.
I-
Now,
I've
why
said
are you talking
decision.
about
I
losing
said
money?
worst.
Investing on something
Worst.
you don't know.
No,
was a
I
worst
said
decision.
worst.
Why did you
Another
talk
thing.
about stock exchange as the first?
Without any knowledge.
Mhm.
Forex. Without single knowledge. I want to earn money, man. I need 10,000 within a day. Another thing,
And it
spot pesa.
failed. Betting, gambling.
Yeah, gambling. I've done all these stupid things by
All
the way.
this shit.
That's what we were calling what the worst stupid financial decision
I
you've
don't
ever
think
made.
they are worst. Those are lessons, bro. They are lessons. I can say
Exactly.
they are lessons.
The things you
Because
We all
I
learn.
cannot
I-
blame myself.
On my
man.
side as well, when I bought that Chromebook, it was also a lesson to me. It was the
Exactly.
worst decision
But
that I ever
worst
made.
decision
But
that gave
after
you a
all,
lesson.
yes,
So you cannot say it's not
I learned from
that. As for me, the worst decision I think I've ever made is knowing quite very well my financial position and going to buy a shoe that I saw somewhere, a shoe that I wore once.
And they stole it.
No. Never took a photo with it. Nothing. I just wore that shoe once, never worn it again, and I gave it away. I felt the loss because I felt that I needed that. When I saw it, I thought, oh, this is what I actually need right now. But after buying it, going home is when I realized it's not even exciting. It was exciting my eyes when it was on the
the display.
I felt so stupid because it's not that I didn't have shoes. I had, but I thought that one would serve me the way I thought. So from that, I got to know how to set priorities right. You understand?
Exactly.
The fact that I'm not going barefoot should not excite me to go and buy another shoes. You understand? From that, you learn so many things. That stupid financial decision that you made will get you places you never thought.
Have you ever invested?
Yeah, I have. In a business?
Anything?
Indeed, yes. Yeah, indeed, yes.
I know you are investing in your health.
The greatest wealth. Health is the greatest wealth.
Actually, that's the biggest value.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay,
only.
so let's talk when it comes to finances.
So when it comes to finances, the only way you need to pull out of as a youth, as a young man,
I just asked a simple question. Have you ever invested? You said
yes, financially, yes,
In what?
in clothing and fashion design.
Okay.
Yeah.
You?
In transport.
And communication.
Yeah. It was not a bad decision. It was a
Actually,
very
even in
nice
portrait.
one.
Okay.
Got what I got from it. But I think it's actually something I would do even bigger in future.
My question will be, when it comes to all of you knows what net worth is, should you include something we call life insurance?
Yeah, it's still
your
your net worth.
Exactly.
net worth,
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
but not all.
Life insurance. Yeah,
but
it
not
is.
all. Because
can.
there's life insurance whereby a company you're working with is the one that has insured you, not the one that you have insured yourself. You know, there's someone I was talking to. He's a financial advisor, and this guy.
No, as for the company, that means that if they have given
your
you
policy,
a life insurance,
yeah, the policy, their policy.
If it's the company you are working with, you mentioned, that's not your finance policy.
And
That's
it
not
is.
an
It is.
advantage to you. It's an advantage to the company.
Okay, like how it works when it comes to company, there is a certain amount of money that
They
you
pay.
receive. Yeah, not
You
they
said-
pay, they keep for you. In case anything happen when you're working, that's when the beneficiaries can
okay,
benefit
okay.
from the money.
My
Then
question
after
is-
you retire, let's say when you retire, this money will be given to you. So for this,
Those are
you
like
need to
pensions.
No, forget about the pension. We have the pension.
Insurance.
Yeah, we have the gratuity. Now this is life insurance.
Life
No,
insurance.
I want to understand because maybe I don't know.
You need to research.
No. I'm not researching. I want to ask.
I'm
you a
not a
question.
pro on this, bro. I
Okay,
just give an
make
example.
him
Okay, ask a
understand in
question.
simple words.
Ask a question.
I'm asking a simple. I don't know.
Are you
That's why I
gaslighting me?
That's why I want. No. I want to know
Mm.
whether this is right. Whatever I'm thinking. Stop moving faster. So companies have insurance policies for us. I understand that they do have, But I don't understand that after probably maybe I'm leaving that company and I did not ever get sick. I'm supposed to get that money. I need to know.
That
No.
was that's
No,
what
no, no, no.
that-
Because
that
I
is-
believe
that's the question I wanted
that
to
is
ask
not
as well.
because I believe they
that
don't.
is-
They don't
that is
give
not
that
life
money.
insurance of you personally.
So it's the advantage is to the company
No. Every company has
because
its own
I
policy.
feel-
you know why it's an
I
advantage.
feel-
Don't get this
you know
wrong.
why it's an advantage?
Yes.
Because they insured you. For example, if this person gets sick, they are deducting a portion of your salary of your earnings to go to the insurance.
Exactly.
Okay, but at the end of the day, you don't get sick, so you don't get to spend your deductions.
Mhm.
Is it an advantage to you or to them? I believe it is to them.
Let's not go to there.
They never spend a
Let's
coin
not
they
go there.
deducted from
Let's
you.
talk of Kenya.
Okay.
There is this thing they call pesa za wazee, that there is a certain amount that they deduct from you if you are getting paid by a company that is insured in the company, whatever, in the government. So there is a certain amount they usually deduct from you. Then this money, when you get old, you'll receive the money as pesa za wazee. When you are old and you cannot work.
A person who never worked in a maybe they never have an employed number or something. People
Someone
out
who
there.
had no...
So they don't receive that money.
Okay, I don't know.
They do.
I'm not mzee.
The only way you get that money is registering with the government once you clicks a certain age.
I think
It doesn't matter whether you are working. I understand in
Mm.
Kenya it was called NSSF.
in NSF.
National,
Eh?
National Social Security Fund.
Okay. What
You
we
get?
need, what we need to do
All right.
first.
I got it.
First,
bye.
first,
Yeah.
we need to make awareness to people
Uh,
about insurance,
uh-huh.
National
life
what?
or health insurance.
Mhm.
Once you're working in a company,
Yeah.
what are the things that you're entitled to, or
It's-
are you
it's-
entitled
it's
to?
such- yeah, health
You
insurance.
know, health insurance,
Yeah.
and you are supposed to also know, if I don't get sick in the middle of my duty or my line of duty, am I going to get this
Yeah, that's what people
funding
should be asking.
after
because
maybe 10 years or
a
you know,
certain period of time. Yeah.
a certain period of time? If I decide to work with a certain company for 5 years and I don't get sick, will I get that money?
There's something called insurance and life insurance. A company is insuring the employer, the employee, right? And now there's life insurance, which doesn't work on everybody. Those people who work in heights, they should have something we call life insurance, whereby the company has insured this guy. Because these people are working in a highly risky area.
But people who are even driving, everybody can take that. life
Everybody
insurance.
can take that, and you need
Doesn't
to take it
matter
for
where you're
yourself.
working.
Do you have a life insurance that you have taken for yourself?
No,
Why do you want company to take a
I
life
don't
insurance?
have the financial capability for that.
No! Oh my God!
Okay, you can insure for yourself. You can
Wait a
as well
minute.
insure for yourself.
Wait a minute.
I understand.
Wait a minute.
I understand.
So
He-
you're speaking
you're
to a
asking
person
me-
who doesn't
Life
know about
insurance.
life insurance. You're
You know-
speaking
you
to
know-
a person
you know-
who doesn't know about life insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are talking of personal finance. I don't know why
Exactly.
it's personal finance. But when it comes to life insurance, I'm not advertising anything here, but you can insure yourself with only 1,000 in a month. Kenya shillings. It's either 5 years, non-tax. Bro, non-tax.
Do you get it back?
When you die, your beneficiaries will benefit. If you
So
don't
that's
die,
exactly what
okay,
we are
if you
saying.
don't die, you'll get the money.
You
after
must
the
die.
maturity period.
And now that is
Ah,
the
no,
question
no,
which is
it's-
coming.
Okay,
In a certain
you are
period of
90
time.
years.
Ah, okay.
You are
I get
90
it,
years.
I get it.
You insure yourself. You'll die in the next, I don't know how many days, right? Or how many years. Few years too.
Not me though.
But right, you're not 90. You're not 90.
I might get there.
Yeah. But right now, you are 20 something, right? A good example. Let's say I'm 18.
Mm.
Yeah, I am. These
20.
beards are the one making me
At,
look
at,
like...
at what age specifically should you start doing this? Because I want to understand, because we are talking to somebody who is starting to get financial freedom. And get me right.
I have a
I
friend
think
who has
It's all right.
insured. I have a friend...
Get to listen to me.
Uh-huh. I have a friend
I
who
want
has
this
insured...
discussion to be helpful to somebody who is beginning somewhere. Okay?
Let's say, to
At
be
what
helpful
age?
to you.
Because,
Yeah,
and even
'cause-
the audience, not to me, not just to me. I want us to understand at what age specifically, because I think at some point in your most productive age, you should focus more on investing.
Exactly.
You already told me life insurance I should take when I'm approaching 90 because when I know my days are
No, 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 no. I did not say that, guy.
Because why
Okay.
am I taking life insurance when I'm at 20? I'm not prone maybe to diseases or whatever. I'm not even at much risk. Why should I go taking life insurance? I'm at 20. I'm not vulnerable to death or whatever.
Nobody
Okay, anybody
knows.
can die. Exactly.
Nobody knows.
But I'm saying, you already said, somebody who should take life insurance is somebody who is working on heights.
No.
They are working on high risk jobs. But
I-
I'm at my 20. I'm at my 20.
You totally
I'm
getting
at my
me
20.
wrong, bro.
I'm at my 20. I'm working in a certain office. Okay, I'm not exposed to too much danger. You get my point? So why would I focus more on going to take a life insurance when I can focus on investment? Because as a young man, what is more important? Your life is
Your life, yeah.
your life is as important as whatever, as your health. So the most important thing at that age, the most important thing is investing somewhere that in future when you start becoming vulnerable to these diseases and stuff, because at some age you'll start losing your immune and your immune becomes weaker. The most important thing is for you to be able to get the finance freedom, so that when you become of that age, you can have the freedom to take as much policies as you can. Because for certain deaths, there are certain deaths that you cannot get life insurance for.
Yeah.
Maybe you took a life insurance, then you killed yourself. We are not
Committed
going
suicide.
to compensate you. You
They
killed
can.
yourself. That's not in the policy. So for you to achieve that freedom to get whatever policy you want from an insurance company is to have a financial freedom from at a young age. So instead of focusing at your 20s, focusing on going to
I have not told you to focus here. I said 1,000. You said very well that you're earning 30K, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're earning 30K. Only insuring yourself with only 1,000.
We are
Do you know
still-
the rule of 50, 30, 20?
We
I
are still
understand.
going
Yeah,
back
very
to
You
budgeting.
understand
clear,
that?
very
Yeah.
clear.
We are
That
still-
works
we
for
are still-
people who want to do something we call
We
personal
are still
finance.
going back to budgeting, right? We are still going back to no.
You
just
guys were
admit-
just neglecting the point I
No,
said.
no. We are not
First thing
neglecting.
first, you need
we
to
are not
set goals.
neglecting.
Okay, you need
we are
to
not
set goals.
neglecting.
What is this 50-20-30?
Get my point.
Okay, you need to set.
No, no,
Get
no,
my
you need
point.
to set goals.
Exactly.
I
That's the
did not
What is
tell
that?
anybody
50-30-20?
to neglect budgeting.
What
I
is
said
that?
Budgeting is included.
What is that? 50-30-20. What is it?
All of these.
What is it? Let
This-
him answer. What is this? 50,
This is a
20,
rule. This is a rule
of what?
of how you
Budgeting.
can, of how you can manage your
What
finances.
is budgeting? He's managing your finances. Why you?
What is personal
You're
finances?
just explaining the same thing.
What
in
is
different
personal
words.
finance?
You know,
He said
we are not getting
Is
into
the
a
management
into a solution.
Of
We are
individual
just
money.
rotating on the problems.
because
We are not
because
rotating on the problems. You just said about 50, 20, 30.
That's budgeting.
Or 50, 30, 20.
That's
You know,
budgeting.
I'm just giving a
is budgeting.
scenario. I'm just giving
It
a
is the
scenario
management
based
of
on what you
personal money.
said.
Exactly.
Exactly. You
I'm
know?
just saying a scenario based on what you said. It's not that I neglected all the points you said, but for you guys, you are neglecting.
We are not neglecting.
Okay, I want to
We
budget.
are telling you.
I want to budget
we
something.
are just making a conclusion of whatever you said. Whatever you said
Okay.
is a conclusion of budgeting or
Sure.
personal financial management. For all these things to happen, you must have
budget.
you must have a budget. You must manage
And the budget
your
is
personal
whatever he's
money.
saying. The budget is whatever he's saying. The 50-30-20. That's a complete budget rule. Okay.
Exactly.
That's a complete budget rule. So ideally, whatever you are saying is budgeting in different words. Okay. So for a young person a person who doesn't know that, the 50-30-20, that's what you should be telling them. Not arguing whether it's a management or financial management or it's a budget.
Mhm.
It's telling them what it is,
Mhm.
explaining to them how they should be doing it.
I gave a disclaimer. You gave a disclaimer, right? I'm not a financial advisor. And the reason I'm bringing this, it's just creating awareness. It's not that I can guide you on how you can earn 50 million. If I knew how to do that, I would have gotten the 50 million.
Exactly.
Okay, let
What
us-
I mean
okay,
is when
let
you
us-
mention
So, for us-
50-30-20, nobody knows what is 50-30-20.
Okay, you can tell them.
Nobody knows. Not everybody knows. Sorry. Not everybody knows.
Yes.
So what you should be, for it to be helpful, whatever you're saying, 50-30-20 is
Instead of
telling
arguing
them.
with me, just tell them 50-30-20 is. I've started it for you.
Okay, the 50-20-30 is knowing that the total of your earning, which is 100%, 50% of your earnings, total earnings, 50% of it should go to your personal expenditure, household expenditure, your daily expenditure.
Exactly.
50% of it.
Mhm.
The remaining 50, you should take 30% of it. The remaining 20, you should put it in savings. You get my point? So in that order, 50, 30, 20. 50 for household expenditure, 30 and 20
In
in
your
your
savings.
in this rule.
Mhm.
You cannot start by saving before you have catered for your household expenditure.
Yeah.
You cannot go to saving before you invest, because saving money is sleeping money. Okay? Saving money is sleeping money. Maybe it's not earning any profit at some point. So make sure the remaining money, the 20%, it's after you have tackled the household expenditure
Mhm.
and the investment.
Investment.
That's in simple words.
Yeah. Explained.
Nothing to add, nothing to subtract.
So that's a helpful way.
Yeah. Now we
I
have solved the
assume.
solution. Instead of arguing, you're concentrating much on making
No.
gaslighting me,
No.
manipulating my.
We are not arguing.
We are not arguing,
trying
actually.
to. We are
It's
trying
okay.
to.
It's
We are
okay.
trying
it's okay.
to put across helpful
Yes.
points that will help a person who
Exactly.
doesn't know, because it's
Okay.
creating awareness. A person who doesn't know that now knows.
Mm-hmm.
What about somebody who spends all his or her salary, the money that he receives or she receives?
Who doesn't save? Well,
Who
that's what you
doesn't
mean.
use the rule?
Um,
He knows the rule,
Mhm.
but
He
he doesn't
neglects.
know. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
For me, you know
And-
what I will say? The secret to saving is there's no secret at all. You need to implement budgeting. And that's come to your point now. That's the secret. The secret of doing what? Saving is there's no secret at all.
what is
This
the
is
first
where
thing? What is the first thing that comes in your mind when you have 100 bob?
The first
Okay, if I give you 100 bob right now,
Mhm.
what the first thing that comes into your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind, it's
You talk of
my
50
most basic needs: eating.
Like, okay, what am I going to do with this money?
Okay.
That's the first thing
for
that
me-
hits into your mind, right?
No,
What
for
am
me
I going
it's-
to?
It's
Okay,
different.
what am I budgeting with this? Like, what am I going to do with this?
Mhm.
And then it starts ringing in your mind. You cannot spend the whole 100 for.
Eating.
You will say, okay, 50. I'm going to buy this, buy maybe food or
Buy
something or
soap, food
grocery.
and stuff.
20. I will feed my card or my traveling card, or maybe and the rest maybe 30. You're going
Don't you
to-
put that in your expenditure?
You see, so like I'm just trying to
In-
say
within with this 50.
what comes into your mind the first thing when
Ah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
100
Yeah,
bob.
oh, okay.
You see?
Okay.
What comes the first thing that comes into your mind is now that budget. Okay, now how am I going to spend this money? You know, that's the first thing that comes into your mind, and that goes back to the budgeting.
Okay.
In whatever way, whether you approach it 50, 20, 30, or 20, 50 and 30, in whatever way,
No,
it's all
there-
about
there is-
budgeting.
there is an order.
there is another yes,
You
but
cannot
in whatever
ignore
way,
that.
there is someone. Okay, now that's why we are telling
cannot
people.
save
Let
bef-
us
you
allow
cannot
us
save
to wrap,
before
to
eating.
wrap this thing up.
You see,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
you already know
Please,
the
please,
percentage
because of
that
time.
you already know the 30% of your salary.
Yeah.
You already know the 50% of your salary. You already know the 20% of your salary.
Yeah.
You can start as long as you know the amount that you're supposed to save by every month. You can just when you get your money, just pass through the bank. Do savings, okay? It's in the palm of your hands. We
Okay,
have-
you
these days
so
we
you're
have,
trying to say you're trying to tell us that we pay ourselves first when we receive the salary.
I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying
Yeah,
in
that is
whatever
the rule.
way-
Actually, that is the
in
first
whatever
thing that
way-
you should do.
in whatever
Allow us
way-
to wrap this thing up.
okay,
please.
in whatever
Quickly,
way,
yeah.
in whatever way you want to budget. Whether you start with the 30, whether you start with the 20 or the 50, in whatever way, you must have that budgeting mind or that budgeting aspect. Okay, that's what brings you to a personal financial freedom. Without budget, whether with a goal Without budget,
You're going nowhere.
you're going nowhere.
That's why you should not neglect anything. And with budget, and you don't have the goals, you cannot achieve it. So you need to put everything. And when it comes to net worth, you need to include, when you're calculating your net worth, you need to include all your earnings, where you're getting your earnings. Let's say it's wages. Let's say salary. Let's say there's something else. Yeah.
Side hustle.
Yeah, a car that is bringing money. Yeah, include all those stuffs. Then the mortgages, they come into the liability side. Minus, just know where you lie when it comes to net worth. Because for me, I totally don't know where I lie. And I will truly do that.
A quick one.
Sure.
Can I?
Sure.
So should people do planning for their death, burial or something? Or have you ever had somebody planning, having a budget for their death?
Yeah, I've had.
I think,
yesterday-
Should people do that?
I
Yesterday,
think that should be based on
Mm.
that one should be based on life insurance, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's good because you never know when it comes. Okay? You never know when it comes. But you have to prepare for yourself in case of I die today. What will happen to my children? That's the first you're supposed to think of that.
Yeah.
It's a part of that what you're supposed to do when you are alive and when you are earning. It's good to save.
Yeah, it's very rightful. Have
Yeah,
a
it's
plan
very
for-
rightful
for
because
sure. If you can
after
plan,
that-
if you can plan for a wedding, also
Yes.
plan for your death
Exactly.
rest.
Ask yourself, what if
please
I
allow
die
us to
today.
wrap this thing up.
what
Another
will
thing,
happen?
Yesterday, I saw some
Bro,
tweets.
let me finish my point and then
Yesterday,
you
I
can
saw some
wrap up.
tweets. Yesterday, I saw some tweets. People today, they were going to Kwandamana and stuff. And some people, they already took the photo shoot for the staffs for everything. They had a budget that my Nini don't spend too much. There's 30K. This one is for my coffin and stuffs. So this guy did whatever thing that you said. Yeah. So follow us on our social media platforms.
So,
At
so
Desert
before-
Vibes
before
Ambassadors.
you wrap-
Paul,
Okay.
you can finish.
there's a
One
plug
thing,
word.
just
Before,
one
before I
person
want
would
to
like
plug, I want to plug you with financial books that you can read that will help you, maneuver all this. The author is Kenyan. It's called Florence Bet, and the two books are called How Much and Should I. Ukisoma hizo mbili, trust you me, you'll become a different person when it comes to finances.
All right.
I'm done.
Go and read a book by the name Small Time Operator. That
Go
will
read a
help
book
you.
by the 250 questions for your 20s and 30s. And sorry for the debate. Next time I'll try to be a moderator, not a debater. Or
It's
I will
okay, it's
allow
okay.
Mr.
That's why we are
Host
here.
Paul
That's
to be the host of that day. I was your host, Dennis Kamau.
Uh-huh.
You can call me debater Dennis. Yeah. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.